These are 3 pieces of equipment that you must have as a young goalkeeper if you want to make it pro. But before I get into this video, if you're new here, my name is Andrew Pandenberg. I'm a professional goalkeeper. It is my mission to help young goalkeepers like you develop supreme confidence and dominate on game day. If you get any value out of this video, like, subscribe, share with a goalkeeper friend. The bigger we build this community, it'll be a win-win for both of us. So before I reveal what the 3 pieces of equipment are, I just want to make 2 points real quick. So number 1, these pieces of equipment are cheap, very portable, and very practical for improving your game. So I don't want any excuses about not being able to get them or not being able to use them. Like I said, super cheap, super portable, super practical. So that's point number 1. Point number 2 is if you look up any kind of goalkeeper training at home on YouTube, you're going to see a lot of throwing a ball off the wall, diving on a ball on a field by yourself, bouncing a ball. And again, while I believe that doing something is better than doing nothing, I think that there are better things that we can work on while we are alone, while we're at home, that can give us a little bit more improvement than doing some of those things. And these 3 pieces of equipment will really help you to do those things. It'll make sense a little bit more as we go into the video. So without further ado, let's get into what the pieces of equipment are. So number 1 is a jump rope. So if you asked any of my teammates that I've played with over the past couple years in college, this is like my best friend. I jump rope before pretty much every single session. I've got a little routine that I do that I'll explain in just a minute. But a big belief that I have for me about goalkeeping is just the importance of feeling light, feeling springy. And I feel like the jump rope is something that really helps us to feel that way. There have been times when I've lifted heavy in the gym and I've gotten stronger, but for me, that strength needs to be able to get us into a way to where we still feel springy and light out on the field. So if I'm just lifting heavy all the time, just heavy back squats and heavy deadlifts and stuff like that, but without pairing that with things like plyometrics and like doing the jump rope consistently, I feel like I don't quite get that light and springy feeling on the field. So it sucks because you're working hard in the gym, you're lifting heavy, but you feel heavy out on the field. And I'm not trying to knock lifting. I believe in lifting. I believe in building strength. But again, I think if we can pair that with things that help us feel light, feel quick, feel springy. And again, I think the jump rope is a great way to do that. I've been jump roping. I got my very first jump rope when I was like late middle school, early high school. And I had one of my goalkeeper coaches told me I should be doing it every single day. That's kind of what I started to do for a long time. It's funny because like I said, I got my first jump rope, I would say like 8th grade. And that was probably, I'm going to date myself in this video, but it's whatever. That was probably like 2014-ish, 2013, 2014. I got my very first jump rope and I used that jump rope all the time, all the way up until about 2021. That was my first year pro. I was playing for the Colorado Springs Switchbacks. I was jump roping before training and I used that jump rope so much that it literally snapped off the handle. So I had to actually go buy a new one. I got that one. I started using that one consistently. This past year, 2025, is when that one did the same exact thing. That the rope snapped off the handle. I actually had to go and get a couple new ones because some of the ones I bought were just they weren't doing the job. But until I finally found this one, I think it's like Reebok. Yeah, Reebok. I got it at Walmart. It's like $10 to $15. Like I said, super practical. This one's really good. I don't know if they still sell it at Walmart, but I'm sure you can find any kind of good jump rope. I mean, Walmart, Academy Sports, Dick's Sporting Goods, Amazon, something like that. Big things to look out for. I hate the jump ropes that the rope itself is super, super thin. This one is probably as thin as I'd want to go because if you mess up with the really thin ones and they hit your legs, it hurts. And that's not super fun. I've never really tried, I think they have like weighted ones where the thing is like, the rope is pretty thick. I'd be careful with that. I would just find a standard jump rope. Another really cool thing you can do with a lot of jump ropes is adjust the length. So There's usually instructions like that come with the jump rope, or you can look it up online. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I think pretty much you can like stand on the jump rope and then hold it up, and then once it goes to like your shoulders, that's how much you want to have. You can just like cut off the excess and then reattach one of the handles. That's usually how I've gotten it to fit me and my size. So that's another cool thing, because sometimes you get a jump rope that's too big. Obviously, if it's too small, you're gonna need a bigger one because you can't like add on extra rope. But yeah, that's pretty much the story of how I've used jump ropes. Like I said, I use it really consistently. I do it pretty much before any training, any workout in the gym. It's a great warm up. And what I will do is I will jump rope for about 45 seconds and then I'll rest for 15. So pretty much just on the minute, 45 seconds work, 15 seconds rest. I'll do that for 3 rounds. That's pretty much it. I mean, there's a lot more you can do with it. You can get creative, but that's just the consistent routine that I have. And in that 45 seconds, I'm jumping with 2 feet. I'm jumping with off 1 foot, off my right foot, off my left foot, kind of like back and forth, maybe like a little high knees, maybe a little forward, backward, side to side. I just mix it up. It's really no strict kind of system to it. It's just kind of whatever I feel. But like I said, I do the 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off for 3 minutes. Yeah, I've done that for so long now. And I feel like before training, it just gets me nice and light and feeling good going into training. And before my workouts, it helps me just get my body warm and ready to have a good workout. So equipment piece number 1, jump rope. This thing should be your best friend. Piece of equipment number 2, it's going to be a mini soccer ball. So this one it's literally called mini. There's not even like a size to it. Yeah, I would just say try to find a mini soccer ball. There's no question nowadays that as goalkeepers, we have to be good with our feet. We have to be able to distribute the ball really well. I think for me, juggling is one of the most beneficial ways we can do that. When I was younger, I had a coach, shout out Patrick Daka, in the Charlotte FC Academy now. He's from Zimbabwe. He was one of the first coaches I ever had. He actually like taught me how to kick a ball from he was probably my coach around like 9, 10 years old. And while all the other kids would go and be shooting on each other before practice, our team literally had to just like juggle. Back then we would just use the regular balls. We weren't really good at it, all of us, when we first started, but as time went on, we got better. We started holding like juggling records for ourselves. I remember going from like 10 to 15 to 20 and then even like 100. And those were just like giant milestones for me. But like I said, I'm a big believer in juggling. I believe that gravity is one of the most beneficial things that we can use because it's always there. We can always get touches on the ball and always be working on our touch. I know that obviously going out to a field and actually kicking the ball and passing is probably going to be the most beneficial thing you can do to work on your distribution, but sometimes we don't have that luxury. And like I said, you can juggle pretty much anywhere at any time. It really helps you with your touch. Again, like I said, you can do it anywhere, anytime. But specifically the mini ball, why I preach the mini ball is it's harder than a regular ball and your touch has to be a lot better. The bigger ball, the regular size 5 ball, size 4, whatever you use, can be a little bit more forgiving if you take not as good of a touch in the air to keep the ball up. But this thing, your touch has to be really, really good to keep the ball up in the air. I would say if you're new to juggling, I would use the regular ball. This thing might be a little tough right now, but I think your goal should be to work up to be able to use this. I keep this in my gym bag all the time, my soccer bag. I would literally just go out when I go to the field, and before I work out, again, like I'll jump rope, and then sometimes I'll just juggle for a bit with this. And again, I think it's just super practical. It fits in your bag. You can bring it anywhere. You can bring it, you go on a trip, you go and travel. So again, super practical. And again, I would recommend if you're new to juggling, use the bigger ball at first. I don't want your confidence just to go on the floor because this thing is pretty difficult to use. But if you're older, more experienced with juggling, I would say get yourself one of these. Yeah, work on your touch as much as possible. Again, talking about that, I've used these things for a long time. This is a Russia 2018 kind of style World Cup ball. So it's 2026 right now. I've had this one for 8 years. I've been using it a lot. I kind of got this idea from a teammate of mine, Isaiah Parente. Shout out to him. He's a midfielder for the LA Galaxy. He's actually a 2-time MLS Cup champion, one with the Galaxy, one with the Columbus Crew. But he is probably one of the best technically players I've played with in college. He actually kind of got me onto this juggling vibe. I remember before I got drafted to Orlando City, that whole kind of off-season period before preseason, I was going outside every morning, freezing cold, and I was juggling this thing, just trying to get up my touches as much as possible. And I remember when I went to Orlando, my feet were awesome, and I felt really good, really confident with them. It's even funny with someone like Isaiah. He got so good at using like a regular ball and a mini ball, he started using tennis balls, which he actually kind of got me onto, which it's smaller, it's even harder than this. He even has told me that he got so comfortable with the tennis ball that he was using ping pong balls, which like that's a whole different level of touch and technical ability. I just say that to say that he's a MLS field player, and that's the standard that he has for his touch and what he's able to do with the ball. So again, if you can't use the mini ball, use a regular ball, consistently juggle as much as you can at home, before training at the field. Once you get pretty comfortable with a regular ball, which I would say if you're late high school, college, professional, I would say college and professional for sure, you should be comfortable juggling with a regular ball. This is the next step, help you with your touch, and I definitely think it translates to the field. And again, super easy. You can do anywhere, anytime. Equipment piece number 2. Very last piece of equipment, we have an agility ladder. So I'll tell a little story. Back when I was in high school, I was a freshman, and there were 2 goalkeepers who were seniors who I used to train with. I was on the U16 team. They were on the U18 team. They were twin brothers. We actually grew up training together, but I remember that high school time was when I was around them the most and kind of got to know them the most. One eventually went on to play at UNC Chapel Hill. His name is James Pyle. He played in 2 Final Fours. He was a first team All-ACC for UNC. The other one, William Pyle, he played at University of South Carolina, was the top goalkeeper in his conference. But they were amazing academy goalkeepers. They were awesome mentors for me. Like I said, they were seniors while I was a freshman, so I looked up to them. It's funny because I would always ask them how they got so good, and I was so eager to know what I can do to get better. And they would literally say one word to me. They would say, ladder. That's it. They wouldn't tell me, hey, you need to go out to the field and blah, 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 blah. They would just say ladder. And they would ask me, they would text me all the time, are you doing your ladder? Are you doing your ladder? Basically what they were talking about, again, with the agility ladder is just this idea of doing footwork drills with the agility ladder. So going back to what I said about the jump rope, a big piece of goalkeeping that I really believe in is that ability to feel light, feel quick. And what the ladder, I feel like, helps us to do is helps us feel those, but it also helps us just to develop coordination, good quality movement. I'm a huge believer in goalkeeping and just the power of footwork. The starting goalie at Wake before I got there, one line he told me that has stuck with me is he said, legs feed the wolf. For me, if we can have good, clean, quality footwork, we can get ourselves almost into any position in the goal that we need to, and we can let our body and our hands take care of everything else if we're in that right position, if we feel light, we feel quick. So I'm a big believer. And again, my philosophy in goalkeeping is about quickness, quality movement, quality clean footwork, and this is a great way to help develop that. Another point I want to make about this is when we use the ladder, I want you to think of it as a way to develop speed and good quality controlled footwork. So this is not about fitness. So when I lay out my ladder to do my ladder drills, what I'll often do is I'll have a list of different kind of footwork that I want to do. And what I'll do is I'll do all the way down. So this one's a pretty big ladder. When you buy them, they come in different sizes. This one, again, is pretty big. But I'll go all the way down quick, and I'll do that one footwork, and I'll do the same footwork all the way back, and then I'll rest. And I'll take as much time as I need to fully get my breath back, which usually could take like 30, 45 seconds. And then I do the next footwork drill that I have planned. And so what I'm trying to get at here is I want when you work and the time when you're working to be as quick as possible. So down, take a second, back, do the footwork, and then rest. Because again, what we're trying to develop here is speed, is quality footwork. I don't want you to tire yourself out, go down and back. Okay, let's do the next one. Okay, maybe sideways down, sideways back. Okay, and at that point we're fatigued, and it's more becoming about fitness. While for me, I think the big thing that this can really help us do is develop good speed. Speed's important in the goal. Quality footwork, being intentional with where each step goes. And if we're just tiring ourselves out, those things can just go all out the window. And I think that there are other ways that we can develop fitness, be that obviously training on the field, maybe some stuff in the gym, on the treadmill or on a bike or something. But when we're doing the ladder, for me, it's a lot more about speed and quality footwork, and you'll get some fitness kind of out of it too. But the point of this is not to tire yourself out, okay? So like I said, there's different sizes you can get. This one I've had, again, if we're gonna go back, when I was a freshman in high school, it was about 2014. So crazy, I've had this for 12 years now. But like I said, it's been a very good piece of equipment that's helped me so much. But I hope you can see that like these things I actually use. They're not just like 3 random things that I came up with, but it's served me really, really well for the past 12 years. I still use it. And another big piece I think that you can include with this is have some fun with it. When I was in high school and I used to use it all the time, I would literally get my Bluetooth speaker, I'd set it up, I'd set up my ladder, I'd put on some like EDM music, I'd be in my garage, I'd be outside, and I would just blast some EDM music and just have fun with it, kind of like get my movements like to the beats of the music. I'd be like dancing and stuff. It just became like a fun thing for me to work on my footwork and also just move around and have some fun. So I think a nice speaker with some good EDM music, I think is a great pairing when it comes to using the ladder. But I would encourage you to just look up some drills. I'm sure you already kind of know some that you've done in your own training. But you can go on YouTube, look up different footwork drills, ask a coach. I can make a video about some of the ones that I do if you would want to see that. So if you don't want to see that, let me know, comment, send me a message. That'll be something that I do. But at the end of the day, yeah, have some fun with it. You can make up your own footwork, but I think the ladder is just an incredible way to, again, work on our speed, quality footwork. And I think that it totally translates to when we get in the goal. So just to wrap up, I think that all 3 of these are super crucial. And I think one of the coolest things is you can almost combine using all of them. So for example, things that I've done and like I said, continue to do is, let's just say if I'm going to do a little session at home. First, I'll just foam roll. I'll roll out, just get my muscles kind of activated and going. I'll hit my jump rope. I'll do that for 3 minutes, 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off. I'll do that for 3 rounds. And then I'll get into my ladder. I'll actually do a little dynamic warm up before too, just get my muscles a little more warm and stretched. But I'll lay out my ladder. I'll do, let's just say a ladder footwork down. I'll do footwork back. I'll get my mini ball. And it's a little active recovery in between doing the footwork. So do my footwork there and back, and then keep the ball up, mini ball up with my feet, let my body recover, and then hit the next drill, do it again. Again, play my music, make a little fun session out of it. But that right there is a super quality at-home session. I think that is going to be more beneficial for you than throwing a ball off the wall, diving on a ball in the grass. Again, if that's what you want to do and something is better than nothing, then do that. But I think when we're at home, when we're alone, we can develop our touch using the mini ball, and we can develop our footwork and our speed and our movement. And these are things that highly correlate with what we do on the field. And I think we can save more of the bouncing the ball or shape for when we're actually training on the field in a team environment, in a goalkeeper training environment with friends. But when you're alone, I think this is the kinds of stuff we can work on, our touch and our quality of our footwork and our movement. So like I said, combine all 3 together. It's a fun thing to do, but I would go and get these 3 as soon as you can. Again, super cheap. I think a jump rope, $10 to $15, a mini ball. It's been a while since I got this one, but I would probably say $15, $20. A ladder, again, maybe somewhere in that $20 range. So you're talking about $60. If you can save up and spend that money, ask your parents, get it for your birthday, Christmas, or something. These are things that will last you a long time and serve you super well for doing stuff at home. But that's about all that I've got for you. Like I said, if you've enjoyed the video, if you get value out of it, like, subscribe, share. Try these things out. Let me know how they go. I think these are 3 amazing pieces of equipment. They can all fit in your bag. You can bring them anywhere, use them anytime. And I think that these will really help you with your training at home. I get questions all the time from parents and goalkeepers that I train, and they ask me, what can we be doing at home? What can we be doing at home? Get these 3 pieces of equipment as soon as you can and just start using them. And it's not going to be perfect. You don't have to have the perfect plan. Get outside, start using them, see what they can do for you. So, like I said, if you enjoyed the video, share, like it, all that good stuff, and see you in the next one.